Hi, I'm Larie, and welcome to my channel. This is one of my daughters, Malia, and this is Violet. She's posing for you. So I just wanted to hop on super quick and talk about proper breathing. I just had a question, and it was, hey, Larie, I was seeing some coning and tenting while I was doing some side bends or side plank. Does that mean I have DR? It doesn't necessarily mean that you have diastis recti, but it does mean that you are putting unwanted pressure on that tissue. And so coning and tenting does mean stop immediately. Let's work on the core activation. So if ever you see coning or tenting uh, while you're pregnant or postpartum, again, stop immediately. So what you're seeing is you have the rectus abdominals, which is that six-pack muscle. And when you get pregnant, right, your belly has to expand to make room for these beautiful little babies. So that's going to spread. And in between, you have this tissue. Now, everyone has that tissue, even my husband. So everyone has a slight space in between their six pack. But as we get pregnant, it gets wider. So you just want to be careful of doing all the core activation and then putting unwanted pressure on the tissue that could cause coning, which could lead to diastis recti in the future. If you do that enough, it's going to cause more separation. So we want to stop that. What we want to work on, though, is activating the transverse abdominal. So that's your deepest, most innermost layer of your core. So that's that corset muscle. And we really want to focus on drawing it up and in. So a great breathing technique is you want to make sure when you inhale that you're taking a big 360 inhale. You're filling up the entire rib cage 360. So you're not just breathing out and in, we're expanding the entire rib cage as we inhale. Then as we exhale, we want to feel your pelvic floor lift slightly, and we also want your belly button to draw up and in, which is different from just sucking it in. So if we're prenatal, what it's going to feel like is it's going to feel like you're giving your baby a nice little hug up. It's going to feel like you're hugging your baby. Now, this isn't like 100%. This is at a 50% engagement. So go ahead, you can sit down. Hey girls, can you sit down beside me, please? Sit down with me.
But Mommy is going to kick.
That's okay. Malia, don't kick your sister. You have this to look forward to. So come into a nice seated position. That might be easier than standing. Make sure you have a neutral low back. As we inhale, take that big, deep, expansive breath, 360. And then as you exhale, feel your pelvic floor lift, and then you give that baby a nice little hug up and in at about a 50% engagement. So I'm going to show you what it would look like postnatal, but you're going to feel the same thing pretty much while you're prenatal. So to the side, we're going to take a big, deep, expansive inhale throughout the entire rib cage right here. Then as we exhale, pelvic floor is going to lift, and you're giving that baby a nice little hug up and in. Now, if you're postpartum, you're actually going to probably feel it go up and in, and you can go a little bit deeper. So we want to keep your TVA activated prenatal and especially postnatal when everything's coming together. So again, if you see any coning or tenting, you need to stop immediately and get the core activation. Now, as far as working and engaging your pelvic floor, what's a kegel? So usually we cue a kegel as stopping the flow of urine, but it's a lot more. We also want to feel like we are squeezing something up and in. You want to make sure you are not squeezing and clenching the glutes. So take the glutes completely out of it. So you can stop the flow of urine. That's one thing. But you also want to squeeze, like you have an item up there. You want to squeeze it up and in. So always cue, like if you have a tampon, squeeze the tampon up and in, or use some visuals. So two things: keep the TVA activated, keep that pelvic floor nice and strong throughout your pregnancy, and definitely well after. Now, postnatal, definitely start working on this breath, because making that mind muscle connection gets extremely challenging postnatal. So do this breath. You don't have to do it You know, it's hard at first. It gets easier with time, like everything. So just practice it. You know, a good thing to do is like when you wake up, practice the breath. Before you go to sleep, practice the breath. Before you work out, practice that engagement. So any questions on that, let me know. And if not, you know, have a good rest of your day. Do you have anything you want to add, Violet and Malia? Okay, how about a wave? All right, it's back to playtime. Have a wonderful day.